permanently laid off. The park says the pandemic has cut too deeply into its revenues, forcing these changes. The move's causing turmoil for former employees as well and disrupting the local economy.
These hospitality companies like Universal and SeaWorld that made billions in the economic boom are now just kicking workers to the curb with nothing. And now they're in line, for food that they can't afford on their own.
SeaWorld is not saying how many workers are being let go, but says it will be spending between $2.5 to $3 million in employee severance costs. Well, that does it for us tonight. We'll leave you with this live look near Providence Park, where we are tracking lots of smoke pouring into the Metro City, as well as high winds tonight. A windstorm taking out the power to tens of thousands of people. We have much more news and headlines coming up over on Fox 12 at 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, right now we're on Main Street, just outside of Edgewater at the Cove Apartments, where behind me along I-205 there is a fire burning. You can see the fire.
And then down home into going towards the Sandy Airport. Yeah. There's a tree right across. Where's that? And if you go down 10-9, over there by, you take a left at the light. Yeah. And you go down the hill, right at the hairpin, you stay to the right. That's Coleman Tree.
Hey. Yeah. You have a live here? Hi.
Yeah, so there's a tree across, and they were just starting.
Can you hear me?
There was a fire.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I think they got the fire out. No, there was a fire right here.
3, 2, 1, testing, testing. Mic check. 3, 2, 1, testing.
Yeah, we saw some transformers blow, but all out. So I'm just waiting for them to cut them. Yeah, both sides of Coleman have trees down. Yeah. So I can't go around Cherry.
I'm sorry. I'm in a box too. I'm in a box. You are? Yeah. Sorry, we didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Me? Tonight, more than 100,000 families sitting in the dark without power, thanks to some strong wind gusts.
Hopefully, just the wind will be the challenge.
And bone dry conditions.
It's a little bit more concerning.
Fire concerns on high alert.
2020 has been more than we can expect it.
And for the first time in history, PGE cuts power to people on Mount Hood just to be safe. We have team coverage spread out all across our area, with our crews bringing us the latest information and live pictures. That story is first on Fox. And good evening. Thanks for joining us both on the air and on the Fox 12 streaming app. I'm Wayne Garcia.
And I'm Bonnie Silkman. We are staying on top of breaking news tonight. Nearly 120,000 customers have lost power across the Portland metro area thanks to a rare and powerful windstorm.
Another 14,000 customers in Washington are without power, according to Clark County Public Utilities. Many of these outages are because of damaged or down lines because of the wind.
Yeah, and for the first time, Portland General Electric preemptively cut the power to roughly 5,000 customers near Mount Hood due to high fire danger. We want to show you this map here that really illustrates what's happening and where the smoke is coming from. This is from the National Weather Service Northwest, and it shows that smoke moving in from the east side of the Cascades across western Washington and western Oregon.
Really shows it there. We have team coverage for you tonight. Fox 12 meteorologist Dan Campolongo has a look at what's happening. Our Bridget Chavez is live on Mount Hood after speaking with business owners who are dealing with the power being shut off.
First, though, we do want to get to our Fox 12's Drew Marine, who joins us now live at an active fire that's burning right now in Oregon City. Drew, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Bonnie, right now we're on Main Street, like you said, in Oregon City, outside of the Edgewater at the Cove Apartments. And behind me, you can see there are multiple fire units responding. And we're going to give you a look at the fire behind me along I-205. You can see the orange glow behind us and the fire truck lights that are fighting that fire right now. You can tell, I don't know if you can tell in this picture, but it is very smoky out here, and there's still some wind blowing at the moment. Clackamas Fire is responding right now and fighting the fire behind me. You can see again that orange glow that's just behind those trees there along the freeway. We know earlier Clackamas Fire tweeted multiple vegetation fires are being worked on by Clackamas Fire, and just to use extreme caution in the areas of Oregon City and Estacada. They said the wind incident has all of their crews very busy and is asking people to be safe and watch out for areas with active fires like the one we're seeing again along I-205 there in the distance with the orange glow. Clackamas Fire is responding and fighting that fire right now. And the apartments that we're in front of, we got in touch with a person who says they were evacuated from the Cove Apartments here behind me. And of course, we don't know at the moment what caused this, but we will provide updates once we know that information. Live in Oregon City, Drew Marine, Fox 12 Oregon.
Okay, Drew, just tough fire weather that we're having to deal with right now.
Absolutely. Right. Just so much going on. Meteorologist Ann Campolongo joining us now. Busy night.
Yeah, and that was one of our concerns, that a new fire would potentially spark here tonight with the strong winds. You know how dry it is out there, and it's been incredibly hot here west of the Cascades. That trend is only going to continue. So our concern is that these fires will continue to grow here, not only tonight, but as we head into the next several days, because conditions really aren't going to change much here as we head into the next week. Here's what it looks like outside right now. It looks foggy here from this view, but this is the smoke and the haze that is outside right now in downtown Portland. This from our Riverview Community Bank camera there. Notice the winds here in Portland still sustained at about 30 miles per hour tonight. Our latest gust measured to about 45 miles per hour or so. So it has been an extremely windy day here west of the Cascades, I should say, through the late afternoon hours. You can see this from our skyline camera there. It started off with the blue sky, and then suddenly all of that smoke moved in to downtown Portland and west of the Cascades. That was all the smoke coming from the fires burning up into eastern Washington here. And you can see it on the satellite picture that we show you. You can see all of this gray. That is not cloud cover, that is smoke, and it just traveled across the Columbia River Gorge and then was just spit out into the metro area here by those strong easterly winds. So the winds have been blowing out in the eastern portions of the state really all day today, and it finally made its way to the metro area by late afternoon and early evening hours tonight. Unfortunately, the winds are going to continue to stay strong as we go through the evening hours tonight. So here's what you can expect. Through tonight, early tomorrow morning, strongest wind gusts upwards of about 50 miles per hour in the metro area. Still, the stronger winds are going to be focused out along the Cascade foothills with wind gusts there upwards of about 80 miles per hour. It'll stay breezy through tomorrow. Again, I think tomorrow morning will be especially windy, and then things will calm down just a bit as we go through the afternoon. But again, the fire danger threat remains incredibly high here through Tuesday and into our Wednesday as well. So we'll have much more on all of that coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, Ann, we'll see you then. There are new evacuations we need to tell you about because of the wildfires currently burning in Oregon. The Lions Head fires in Jefferson County. It's 31% contained, and Brighton Bush Hot Springs and the nearby Devils Creek Summer Home Community have just recently been put on level 3 evacuations. That means get out now. The Beachy Creek fire burning north of Detroit Lake has the city of Detroit and areas north of Highway 22 on a level 2, which is set to evacuate at a moment's notice starting tomorrow at noon. Officials are putting out this advanced evacuation level notice because of the high winds and the low humidity right now we've been telling you about. They're encouraging people to be prepared for high winds and low visibility, as well as heavy ash in the air. Visitors are being told to avoid the area.
And as we mentioned, Portland General Electric shut off power to thousands of customers tonight. All these customers near Mount Hood.
Fox 12's Bridget Chavez is live in Sandy. And Bridget, you spoke with some business owners earlier. How are they dealing with the shutoff?
Well, they tell me that this kind of weather is something that they've learned to deal with over the years. You can see it's still very windy out here, still lots of smoke in the air, and just total darkness, essentially. PGE shut off the power around 7:30 this evening. We were here when all the lights in the city went out. Now, they did tell me, though, that this is, like I said, something they've learned to deal with, but one of them says he's a little worried if the power stays off too long. Damaging winds, smoky skies, and high fire danger, a powder keg combination, putting neighbors and business owners like Ken Gamble and John Lazaridis on edge.
That's the part that scares me, if we get big trees or something like that, or the power lines are down.
Just the anticipation for the whole staff is just excruciating.
PGE says because of the high winds and how dry it is out, they don't want to take any chances and have shut off power to thousands living in the Mount Hood area.
It's a small price to pay for us to turn our lights off and turn the coolers off and all that if there's not a fire that destroys the entire corridor.
Lazaridis says he's still in an okay position because he has a generator.
So my food will be fine. A lot of places don't. So there's going to be a mad scramble to save all their perishables or give them away again, like beginning of COVID. We gave away all our perishables had to be given away or thrown away.
But Gamble has to close down.
If we're out of power for more than a couple days, we're pretty much screwed, so we can't, we got freezers full of stuff trying to keep up with.
Despite what would have normally been one of the biggest days of the year.
Normally this is one of our busiest weekends. And you can see we're empty.
The empty seats and smoky skies aren't getting them down.
Well, it's a bar. We always have good spirits here.
The power again has been shut off here since about 7:30. And on our way here, we did see some branches and twigs snapping off, blocking roadways. But for the most part, people have been able to swerve around them and people have been moving them off of the road. Reporting live in Sandy, Bridget Chavez, Fox 12 Oregon.
Okay, Bridget, and we have also learned the dangerous conditions have forced 2 schools to close. Benton County Schools tweeted that the All-C Charter School will be closed tomorrow, and all of Cornerstone Christian Academy's campuses will be closed tomorrow as well because of the wind and the poor air quality.
And we have been getting some incredible pictures and videos into our newsroom tonight. This video was shot near 42nd and Southeast Ash Street. You can see that giant tree has fallen in the front yard there, causing a lot of damage. And this video was taken near Southwest 3rd and Harrison by Moni Kovacs. Several big trees fell in this spot as well, leaving behind a lot of debris all across the sidewalk there. And in Tigard, Madison Huston took this photo. You can see another large tree went down, partially blocking that street. Well, you can make sure to stay with Fox 12 as we follow this high windstorm and fire danger concerns. A lot going on. We'll, of course, bring you live pictures and updates from our crews on the ground all night right here on Fox 12 and online at kptv.com.
With protests heading frequently to the North Precinct on Northeast Emerson, the Blazers Boys and Girls Club says they've had to close for the time being.
Earlier tonight, our Fox 12's Drew Marine spoke with a neighbor who says he's frustrated that protests have led to the closure of a vital community resource.
But it's just kind of more of this feeling of you don't know what's going to happen given any night.
Shane Graff lives near the North Precinct and says he thinks peaceful protests should continue.
I understand that we need police reform. I agree with that.
But he says he draws the line when things become destructive.
Like, I don't know what the end goal is at this point.
Graff says previous protests at the North Precinct have even resulted in some damage. At the Blazers Boys and Girls Club just 2 weeks ago, Graff says the club sent out a message to parents that they were closing temporarily, saying in part, quote, "This decision was made due to the club being located at the epicenter of many protests and the direct effects to the building."
It's something that a lot of people in the neighborhood and I relied on for after school stuff, and I understand with the COVID thing, but they also did food stuff and had some good programs, and I don't know, it just made me angry when they were gonna close.
He says going forward, he understands peaceful protests need to continue, but he wants everyone to be safe. Drew Marine, Fox 12 Oregon.
It was a volatile afternoon in Salem today as supporters of President Trump clashed with counter-protesters. This after a large Trump rally drove from Oregon City to Salem today. Air 12 was overhead as that caravan was on the move, and our Fox 12's Nora Hart walks us through what happened next.
We've seen several clashes break out at the Capitol and even a few arrests. This all comes after a pro-Trump rally that started at Clackamas Community College in Oregon City. The group says they gathered to show support for the president and speak out against violence in downtown Portland.
Very tired of the local politicians not doing anything about it and blaming it on our president when they're the ones who should be taking care of it.
Trump! 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 The group then hit the freeway and headed south. Some turned back around in Woodburn, but some of the group continued to the Capitol in Salem. Once they got there, it didn't take long for things to escalate. Our crews watched as Trump supporters rushed a group of counter-protesters firing paintballs. Then a man blocking traffic with a sign in support of Black Lives Matter was told to leave the street. The group then took his sign, so the man stripped down and was then maced by the crowd. In another rush of the crowd, 2 Trump supporters were arrested after tackling a counter-protester to the ground. Before heading out, some said they were worried about violence, but said they had to stand up for what was right. In studio, Nora Hart, Fox 12 Oregon.
The 10 o'clock news is just getting started.
Fox 12 is staying on top of the breaking news, the high winds, the fire danger, and power outages. We'll check in with our crews spread out across the area and show you new viewer pictures and photos coming up. A hit-and-run crash following a memorial for a demonstrator who was killed in Portland. We'll hear from a friend of the victim about what happened that night. And a massive mystery in the Siberian tundra. Find out what scientists think may have caused this big crater, and they don't think it was a meteor. Stay with us. Fox 12 is back in 2 minutes.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
Welcome back. This is a live look of Portland with our Skyline camera. We are tracking hazy conditions and keeping a close eye on high winds and heavy smoke in our area tonight. Also, more than 100,000 customers are without power in the Portland metro area.
And Bonnie, isn't crazy just how fast this all happened? I mean,
wild.
Within the span of about an hour, maybe 90 minutes, it went from blue skies to this.
Right.
Portland General Electric has also cut the power to some 5,000 people up on Mount Hood because of the high wind and fire danger. Let's give you a better idea now of the area that we're talking about here. The company cut power about 7:30 tonight to everyone in this high-risk fire zone. They said the proactive safety outage is a last resort to help protect people, property, and the environment in the face of extreme fire danger conditions and high winds, which of course we're seeing right now. It's a historic move for PGE. The company never before has shut off power preemptively.
That's right. And our Fox 12's John Hendricks spoke with neighbors who say they've been through strong storms before and they're ready.
From the side of Mount Hood, the rumble of 2 helicopters echoed against Oregon's tallest mountain. This as fire crews work a small fire a few acres in size, burning in the Heather Canyon area at Mount Hood Meadows. Firefighters were working both on the ground and in the air to snuff out the fire ahead of strong winds. The government camp.
2020 has been more than we can expect it.
A new challenge for this already crazy year, a forecast of winds gusting 50 to 60 miles an hour on top of bone-dry conditions. Not a storm they are thrilled to see at the Huckleberry Inn.
It's a little bit more concerning.
Portland General Electric saying it will cut power to some 4,800 customers from government camp to Cherryville.
But it's just not safe to keep the power system energized.
The goal to prevent any wildfire from sparking.
There's the potential for tree limbs or trees or brush to blow into our lines and cause sparks that under these conditions could swiftly get out of control as a wildfire.
A move PGE has never done.
This is not something that we would do if it weren't that the potential risk to our customers and to the communities is so high.
For the folks at the Huckleberry Inn, they're ready with a backup generator.
Hopefully, just the wind will be the challenge, not everything else.
John Hendricks, Fox 12 Oregon.
And of course, videos and pictures have been pouring into the Fox 12 newsroom this evening. This video was taken by Katie Hops in Sandy. You can see how strong the wind was blowing right there and all the haze there in the background.
Yeah, you can. And check out this photo from Vancouver. This was taken by Lindsay Hegelson. You can see, kind of a mess. All that debris blown across the porch thanks to those strong winds.
We've got Ann Campolongo joining us now, our meteorologist here on duty. Ann, why are these winds such a problem?
Yeah, the big concern that we have here tonight and tomorrow was because it's been so dry here. We're at the tail end of summertime when we're at our driest here in Oregon, and we've got the strong easterly wind, the dry fuels out there, and the hot temperatures. Of course, it's been hot through the last several weeks, but unfortunately it's going to stay hot here as we go through this new work week. So all of those things that I just mentioned there combined are the perfect ingredients for fire season here to kind of explode, and we've already got fires burning in the state. I think those will continue to grow with the winds and the heat that we're seeing through the next couple of days. And of course, our big concern here, and hopefully this doesn't happen, but if any new fires were to spark and take off, they're going to really start to grow fairly quickly with the wind conditions that are out there, low relative humidity levels, and just the heat that we have in place today and tomorrow as well as Wednesday. So a lot to take in. Again, it's been extremely breezy here through the evening hours tonight, west of the Cascades in the metro area, out through the gorge as well. These are the peak wind gusts that we've seen so far this evening, gusting up to about 60 miles per hour. That's along the I-205 bridge there. We had a wind gust measured to about 52 miles per hour there at the airport, but pretty much it's been confined here to the metro area, gusts between 35 and 50 miles per hour, which is what we anticipated tonight here with this wind coming through. It will stay breezy tonight and tomorrow as well as Wednesday. That red flag warning is in place pretty much for the entire state, again, because of the dry conditions out there and the strong winds. So that's going to be a factor here in the forecast as we head through the next couple of days. We talked about the sky conditions this morning. We started off with blue sky. This is out in La Grande. Notice how quickly it changes here through the afternoon. You can see just that gray wall that comes through. That was all the smoke and the haze coming from eastern Washington and just kind of trickling into our west side valleys through the late afternoon hours today. Good news is, though, Visibilities have improved in some spots here through the evening hours. Notice as you head down into central portions of the Willamette Valley, closer down towards Corvallis and Salem, visibilities there down to about 2 miles or so. Here in the metro area, again, improvements here through the last couple of hours that I have seen. We're down to about 4 miles visibility there in downtown Portland. But you can see the haze out there. It looks like fog, but that is all haze and smoke that we've seen here tonight. Temperatures, this is up in Vancouver, are in the mid-70s there. We've got wind gusts to about 30 miles per hour, but sustained winds tonight I think are going to hang anywhere between about 20 to 30 miles per hour. So it will stay breezy here during the overnight hours tonight. Temperatures will drop back likely into the low to mid 60s. So a warm night for us. And a smoky one, especially it's going to stay warm east sides of the metro here this evening. Tomorrow looks like this. I think it's going to stay hazy. It'll probably be smoky again as we start off the day on Tuesday. Strongest wind gusts coming tomorrow morning there, still gusting anywhere between about 35 to 50 miles per hour. And then as we go through the afternoon, things will calm down at least just a little bit tomorrow afternoon. Quick look at your 7-day forecast. Here's what we've got coming for us. 90s there Wednesday and Thursday. Those 2 days, the hottest days of the next 7. And then we're going to keep it pretty warm for Friday and Saturday. Highs will be close to the upper 80s there to low 90s. And then eventually we'll see a bit of relief as we head into the first part of next week. Guys.
And thanks. As you know, Fox 12 staying on top of the breaking news tonight. High winds raising the risk of wildfires.
We're bringing you live reports from across our area and showing you some incredible videos and pictures from Fox 12 viewers.
Plus, Congress back from recess, jumping back into the deadlock over coronavirus relief. Why Senate Democrats are rejecting the latest GOP proposal.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
Then hear us. Okay. 3, 2, 1, testing, testing. 3, 2, 1. There's a tree in the middle of the road. It probably would have fallen in the middle of the road. 3, 2, 1, testing, testing. Yes.
All right. So I don't know if you know, you're on Coleman Road.
Coleman?
Right next to Sandy Airport.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the direction you gave me, and that's where I got it.
We are following breaking news tonight. At the top of the hour, our Fox 12's Drew Marine showed us these live pictures from an active fire that's burning right now in Oregon City. And we'll check in with her in just a few minutes for a live report and check in on the conditions in that area as well.
Well, today, President Trump delivered a Labor Day address and highlighted the August jobs report.
On Capitol Hill, coronavirus relief negotiations remain at a stalemate. For Fox 12, David Spunt has the latest from Washington, D.C.
President Trump addressing the country on Labor Day from the White House. And with less than 2 months until the election, the president is putting the focus on the economy.
We're currently witnessing the fastest labor market recovery from an economic crisis in history, world history.
President Trump touting last week's promising jobs report, 1.4 million jobs added in August. The unemployment rate dropping to 8.4%, down from 10%.
We're rebounding much more quickly from the pandemic. In July, the Congressional Budget Office was projecting unemployment over 10.5% through the end of 2020.
Labor Secretary Eugene Scalia also praising the improved unemployment numbers Monday morning, but he says there are still certain industries where progress can be made.
Healthcare is an industry that I've focused on because we're still down about 700,000 jobs from where we were in February.
Meanwhile, Democrats say more needs to be done to rebound from the pandemic, but coronavirus relief negotiations remain at a stalemate. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer announcing on Monday he will not support the proposed GOP relief bill, which he says fails to address state and local aid, as well as mass transit.
It is a bill that they're using to sort of check the box. Their bill is an emaciated bill. It's not even a skinny bill. It doesn't help in so many different ways.
The president will hold a campaign rally in Winston-Salem, North Carolina on Tuesday before heading to another one in Michigan later this week. At the White House, David Spunt, Fox 12, Oregon.
Well, as you can expect with all of the smoke that we've seen in the metro area this evening, air quality has definitely taken a hit. Now reporting air quality up and down the Willamette Valley, somewhere between the unhealthy and very unhealthy categories indicated here by those red dots. I think it'll stay like this as we go through the overnight hours tonight and definitely into the start of the day tomorrow. We'll continue to monitor this. Things have also deteriorated into central Oregon, especially down towards Bend and the Madras area. So we'll have a close look on the air quality here as we head throughout the evening, but we will also take a look at the forecast for the beaches tomorrow coming up.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
All right. We do.
Strong winds, tens of thousands in the dark, and a big concern about wildfires. We want to get back to our team coverage right now.
Yeah, we have a lot to get to. Let's begin, though, with our Fox 12's Drew Marine. She joins us now live at a fire that's burning as we speak in Oregon City. Drew?
Yeah, Bonnie, right now we're on the other side, the back side of that fire. I'm going to move out of the way so you can kind of see. There's not much to see from this angle at the moment, but the incident commander on scene tells us, believe it or not, there was an industrial building behind me and it's gone now. It is completely burned to the ground. They say that it's a third alarm fire, and as a result of that, The fire spread to a structure next door and the brush behind that building, and that's what's burning on the other side of that truck that we can't see at the moment. Right now, it is still very smoky out here, and it is still pretty windy. Clackamas Fire is responding to this scene and fighting the fire behind that truck over there. They tweeted earlier today, multiple vegetation fires are being worked on by Clackamas Fire, and to use extreme caution in the areas of Oregon City and Estacada. They say the wind incident has all of their crews very, very busy tonight to be safe and watch out for areas with active fires like the one that's on the other side of this fire truck. We're told those living in the area some living in this apartments next door were evacuated. We spoke with one man who says he evacuated from his apartment after hearing someone scream fire. A very scary situation, I'm sure, for that person. And we know at this moment there are no injuries related to this fire. And at this point, we're not sure what caused that initial fire in the industrial building that was standing right behind where I am now. And of course, we'll provide more information as we get those updates throughout the night. Live in Oregon City, Drew Marine, Fox 12 Oregon.